Nolan Smith is unlike any other player in this year's draft. His combination of explosiveness, twitch, bend, and flexibility are unmatched and give him a strong case for being the best pass rusher in this year's draft. As a pass rusher, Nolan's primary way of winning is on his double swipe, where he's going to close the distance versus tackles, push off his inside foot to side scissors and work laterally, and then attack the hands on a double swipe or outside swipe. His closing speed and his burst and his ability to eat up the distance versus tackles, to thread down the middle and then push off is elite. He's got great lateral agility, and while the timing on his hands isn't always perfect, when it is, it looks like this. And he can win quickly and decisively, and he's got a great ability to flatten at the top of his rush on this final play that's going to be on full display, where he's going to fire off the ball, beat the outside hand, and they're going to see him dip that inside shoulder to play under the tackle to reduce his target surface and flatten. And he's also flashed some organic counters off of his primary move. On this first play, he's going to fire off, close the distance, push off to work outside. Can't beat the hands on the double swipe, but his threat of speed forces the tackle to flip his hips and work upfield, and he's able to use the tackle's momentum against him to torque his way back inside and finish for the sack. On this next play against Michigan, he's going to close the distance hard down the middle and threaten the inside half of the tackle. You see his lateral agility, how he's able to cover so much ground laterally in a single stride to really threaten both halves, and that gets the tackle off balance, and he's going to attack that to stab, grab, control the outside hand and press him backwards with power to affect the quarterback. On this play, he's going to have to avoid the chip attempt in a single stride. Once again, I want you to pay attention to just how much ground he can cover in a step, and he's able to close that distance and really get that tackle heavy on his feet to win outside on his club swim. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to see his bend and his ability to flatten at the top of his rush, and the angle, how low he is to the ground, his shin angle, how low his shoulder is, like near the hip of the tackle, to flatten and work up the pocket to hit the quarterback. He's also flashed a really nasty inside counter off that same ability to close quickly and threaten the outside half and cross face to win back inside. On this next play, he's going to one-on-one against Evan Neal, and we're going to see him close the distance down the middle, give it slight jab outside to jab back outside, threaten both halves, then win back inside. And you see the slipperiness, how he's able to reduce his target surface, play skinny to split that gap and finish for the sack. At this stage in Nolan's development, surprisingly, he's actually a better run defender than a pass rusher, despite being so undersized. On this play, he's going to be towards the bottom of your screen, lined up over the tackle, over the tight end, and you're going to see his ability to strike, play with a wide, powerful base to maintain the edge of the defense, long arm to lock out and separate, keep that outside shoulder free, and then shed back inside for the stop. On this next play, he's going one-on-one against the 340 plus pound Evan Neal. He's going to get vertical, strike with a wide, powerful base with the hands inside, get eyes in the backfield, and then shed to make the stop. And he just plays bigger than his listed weight. Despite being 238, on this play, he's going to squeeze on the edge, and watch him drop levels, lead with his shoulder, and just stone this puller to slam shut the B gap and force this running back to bounce this run outside where help is. He's also a very disruptive run game defender, and he utilizes his twitch and short area quickness to knife inside and just beat blocks. He's so hard to reach or to seal on the backside. He's so slippery. He does a great job reducing his target surface to slip and shoot gaps to play behind the line of scrimmage, and he made these kind of plays routinely at Georgia. While Nolan Smith has shown flashes of countering off his primary rush game, at this point in his development, he's pretty one-dimensional and very reliant on his outside swipe, and it's not a particularly precise or dominant move. Too often he just allows tackles to land clean on his pads, and when they do, he just doesn't have the play strength to fight through contact. It can lead to him getting knocked off his path and stood up. And oftentimes when he wouldn't beat the initial punch he didn't really have a counter with his hands to clear, and the rushes would stall out. But my biggest question mark about his game is his ability to convert speed to power. He just has natural disadvantages. When you're 238 pounds and you're as high hipped as he is and you play as tall as he is, it's going to be a struggle to generate power on contact. On this play, the chip threat of the running back takes away the outside rush angle, forcing him to either work inside or down the middle. He opts to work down the middle, and you see just how little power he generates on contact. The tackle is able to easily absorb him, control his pass, and shut down the rush. On this next play, he's going to be on the left side of your screen, and he's going to attack right down the middle versus Evan Neal, NFL starting tackle. And you just see how easily Evan Neal's able to catch his power and then just throw him upfield and completely knock him off his path. And on the final play, once again, he's up against Evan Neal on the right side of your screen this time. He's going to attack vertical and try to flash that inside hand to threaten on the long arm. But when you're not a threat to convert power, tackles simply are not going to react to your power threats. So Evan Neal doesn't react to it. Easily is able to get hands on his pads, push him upfield, and take away the ghost rush attempt. And the final thing I want to touch on, while it didn't show up a lot on his tape, at 238 pounds, you just have to question his ability to anchor in the trenches at the NFL level. It's going to be a concern. You can't ignore it. And like I said, it didn't show up often on this tape, but it does show up on this play against Evan Neal on the edge, where Evan Neal's just going to get hands on him and drive him, and he can't re-anchor to halt this momentum. Ultimately, I do view Nolan Smith as the best edge rusher in the 2023 NFL Draft. I believe he's the most dynamic, explosive, and twitched up of all the rushers in this class, and his bend and flexibility are rare. While he lacks nuance, and there are legit questions in terms of his ability to convert speed to power, I'm willing to bet on his athletic traits, his motor, and his ability to set the edge and be disruptive in the run game over anyone else in this class. And before you click off this video, be sure to leave a like and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe so you can stay updated on my future content.